Howdy tidy, Rebel fans, and welcome into episode 37 of the Rebel Nation Conversation. I am Rebelfan69. My co-host is Themetalreb. Together we make up the Rebel Nation Conversation podcast, your one-stop shop for uninformed and non-expert Ole Miss sports conversation.
Unsullied by sponsorships since 2025.
That's right. Guys, like always, if you're watching us on YouTube, you know right where you need to be. But those of you catching us over on TikTok, come check us out at the YouTube channel. That's located at youtube.com/at the RN Convo. Well, now that we kind of took last week off, it being Memorial Day weekend and all that, I hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend, and the rest of the week turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah. It's been a long month, it seems like.
Yeah.
We still in it. That's it.
Auburn, what we was talking about a while ago, Auburn is in a rain delay. That's why we got the squeeze play stuff going on.
Arkansas's up 8-6 on Northeastern, top of the 8.
Yeah, I seen that. Of course, really, like I said, the only one I'm really concerned with is us. We'll get more into that later on.
Yeah.
Has to do with us is that Auburn regional. But let's start out with a little Ole Miss news here.
Let's do it.
I didn't want to interrupt you there. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, we're pulling for Central Florida, right?
I'd love that. Dang, I'm right. And then, if Central Florida could put out Auburn, obviously, well, I mean, like I said, we'll cover some more of that later on. Then, even if Auburn wins this game against UCF, then you got to start pulling for Milwaukee. Well, you know.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on into some little Ole Miss news here. Since we didn't have a show last week, we really didn't touch much on this, but obviously Tampergate is it's just not going away. It's hanging around. The reports came out that the NCAA has launched an investigation into the recruitment of Leak Forelli, which we kind of knew that going in to begin with. I mean, they said that right from the start, but I don't know why it became real big news. But Pete, as of this last week, came out and said, basically, I ain't going to give the direct quote, but basically said that, if you're going to continue on down this path, he would expose the entire system in multiple schools if the NCAA were to continue on what's pretty much, I mean, everybody wants it to be a death penalty, but to me, it's nothing but a big nothing burger witch hunt to me.
Well, there's no telling what kind of evidence he's got on TJ Daugherty. And Umrebelfan69. Both of those guys had signed.
Not to mention Lacey. I mean, you know good and well that the man thought he had Lacey in the bag.
That phone call that was posted, that was real. That was Lane.
Yeah.
That was Lane Kiffin saying that they had T1 and Trinidad coming to LSU.
Yep.
I was thinking yesterday, it's very telling, and I hate myself, and I'm even talking about that piece of trash, but it's very telling that only one offensive player, a fourth string wide receiver, followed him over there. The guys that know him the best.
He got one lineman, didn't he? Starting lineman. I can't remember his name now because it don't matter. He's no longer there.
He did.
But
did he get a lineman?
I thought so.
No, he got Watkins. That's the only offensive player I know. Maybe he did get a lineman. But still, I guarantee you in his mind, he thought he was fixing to get 15 players, man. He thought he was fixing to cherry pick the best players we had. And that ain't what happened. Arizona State, couple of runs.
Devin Harper. Yeah, Devin Harper.
Who?
Devin Harper. He was on
Devin Harper.
Yeah. But yeah, he thought, that's the funny thing is he thought he could get better players at LSU, but once he get to LSU, tried to get the Ole Miss team. A team he'd already assembled. The guy's crazy, man. Pure crazy. A sociopath is what he is, truly. I mean, he's a sociopath.
And he's still chirping. I know you heard last week he said that had he be allowed to coach, he potentially would have won the whole thing. But I mean, of course he's going to say that.
Well, of course he's going to say that, but like me and you said, he already proven one time last year with that very team that he couldn't beat Georgia.
Yeah. From a roster
I had some LSU.
That 24 team on paper was far better than the 25 team.
Yeah.
On paper.
And we beat Georgia with that team. But that wasn't the same team we had last year. And so that's what people for LSU were telling me, just chirping back and forth with me about saying he had beat Georgia. He beat Georgia. I went, well, no, he beat Georgia with the 24 team.
Yeah.
This is a totally different football team.
Yeah.
And he showed with this team he couldn't beat Georgia.
Yeah. He never beat
You're
Alabama.
all right. Never beat
Not
Alabama a day. And don't say because we didn't have the right team to do it. We had teams to beat Georgia, Alabama. He got out coached every damn single time.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm tired of giving that man airwaves. Obviously, I know we're stuck with that. We're going to continue talking about him until he either goes pro or something like that. But I'm tired of talking about the man. What about the former Rebel? No, excuse me, my mouth just ain't working right. Former Rebel quarterback Jackson Dart is getting a little flack from introducing the President of the United States, Donald Trump, at a rally for Republican Representative Mike Lawler, and some of his teammates, more notably Abdul Carter, took issue with it. To me, man, it's all good and fine for them to put BLM in the end zones and kneel during the playing of our national anthem. But the minute someone with right-wing tendencies, and he didn't even come out and put nobody down, he just introduced the man.
That's where we're at. He didn't even get into politics. He just introduced the man.
It's unreal.
But I tell you one thing I will agree with. I saw one of the left-wing nuts the other day, but they said one thing I do agree with, and that is that the office itself, it just doesn't hold the same respect as it once did. I was looking at the last election. I've seen myself that Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, that's my choices. That's what I've got to work with.
We are down now to having to choose the least of the evil.
Yes. I'm so tired. I don't vote for people anymore. I vote against people.
Yeah. That's what it is.
That's what I've done every time I voted for Donald Trump. I wasn't just voting for him. I was voting against
Hillary, Kamala Harris,
and Kamala Harris. Biden. Those nuts on the left, man. with policies that are so out of touch and so bizarre that sometimes you wonder if they're even being serious, but they are.
Well, like you said,
It's just a tough spot for conservatives right now because, man, I ain't gonna lie. Every time Trump opens his mouth, I just start. It just.
that's right. I mean, I'm not saying that I like him, but as far as his
But what
policies
choice
go
do
out
we
there,
have?
we don't have any. But again, his policies, I do support a lot of his policies. I fully
support most of his policies.
I fully support taking out Iran. We should have done it January 21st, 1980.
Mm-hmm.
The day after the inauguration, and that was the day after, if you remember, January 20th was also the day they released the hostages in 1980. And Ronald Reagan was inaugurated. He should have wiped them off the map.
Yeah. They have been running wild for 40 years, unchecked. But
no one has tried.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot, man. But it just, when people start rattling off what Trump has done, I hear you, okay. But look who my other choice was. He was running against somebody that can't even tell you what a woman is.
Yeah.
Like I said, awful spot for conservatives to be in.
Yep.
You just hold your nose and vote against.
We don't have a true conservative problem. Yeah, we don't have a true conservative choice.
Well, I saw where Mike Pence come out and said that Donald Trump's, his agenda isn't really conservative based right now. The second term has, and I'm sure Mike Pence is in his feelings because, him and Trump, I think, had a pretty messy divorce. And another thing that bothers me, Donald Trump seems to end a lot of relationships that way.
Yeah.
Kind of like Lane Kiffin. When the chapter is closed with somebody with Donald Trump and Lane Kiffin, it is going to be a messy ending.
Yeah. Well, back over on the other deal, though, at the end of the day, let's say it's Barack Obama's the president of the United States.
Nobody says a word.
What? But my point is this. Barack Obama is the president of the United States, and he asked the metal rep to introduce him at a deal at the it's Marion County Chamber of Commerce or something. Let's just say there's a reason he wants you to be the man that says, "Welcome the President of the United States, Barack Obama." You don't turn that down.
No,
I don't care.
I'm doing it.
You have to. You have to do that because of who he's the president of the United States.
That's the president of the United States. But that's what I'm saying. That's the office itself doesn't hold the same aura that it used to. Because there was a time that no one would question whether or not I'm going to do this. As president of the United States, you do that, man. What an honor.
Yep, and it doesn't necessarily mean you agree with his policy.
No.
Or agree with his stance on that. It just means that you are honoring, you were asked to do the introduction, and you were honored to do it. That's what you do. But anyway.
Yeah.
Again, but the free speech only goes one way. It goes for the left. They can paint BLM in the end zones. They can kneel during the national anthem, and we got to grin and take that. But
yeah.
we can't even say something as easy as "Welcome to the stage, the President of the United States, Donald Trump." Can't say it.
I saw yesterday where Abdul Carter said that Jackson Dart did not apologize to him.
He didn't need to either.
And he said, I don't want him to. He said, I want him to stand on what he believes. But then, of course, he fires back and says, but I don't want it to be a problem when I do the same. Now, he's literally referencing something like what you just said. He's equating that the same thing. Introducing the President of the United States or kneeling for the flag. or painting Black Lives Matter in the end zone. That's the same to them. Can you see how absurd that is?
Yeah. I definitely can. But
Well,
the
good
world
for
we
Dart.
live in now.
Good for Jackson Dart.
Well, I just can't believe he held a meeting to explain anything to his teammates. Hell with y'all. You want to block for me? Don't block for me.
Yeah.
The world will see what you're doing. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to bag on him too much for that. He had to know he was going to catch some heat for doing it, and he did it anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, it kind of reminds me a lot of the whole Drew Brees.
Yeah.
At the Saints, having to apologize for I'm going
didn't.
to stand for the national anthem.
He didn't crawl back like Breeze did.
No.
Breeze got on his knees like a beta.
No. That's when I finally decided I was done with the NFL, and I ain't watched a full game since. I have not watched a full game since Drew Brees apologized. Let's switch over to something real good for Ole Miss right now. On a very good note, Kejuan Lacey has been featured on the cover of the popular EA Sports college football video game for 2027 version. What do you think about that?
That's pretty awesome, man. They wanted to kind of do a pair with Trinidad, but when they were putting it all together, he had not been ruled officially eligible, so they just went with Kejuan. But
Yeah,
man,
I remember
that's a big deal there.
Well, I remember the Kejuan. I mean, I remember the whole deal with Trinidad. He was actually using that as one of those. What did he say? One of his
that
irreparable
suffering. Yeah,
because he was supposed to be and that's I don't know how else to put it, but that was pretty. It's pretty significant. They still went with went and got him. I I lost the Nebraska game. Nebraska and them, it started. There it is. I was going to but it was pretty significant. They still went back and got him. We got an Ole Miss Rebel on the cover. So I'm happy for Kejuan. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't. Have we seen any numbers on what do they get paid? What kind of money they get for that kind of endorsement?
Man, I'd have to think that's a sweet check right there.
I would have to think
because that's going to be residual money,
Yeah,
that mailbox money.
I feel like that's going to be right up front into the seven figures number.
Yeah.
And then, that's up front. Like you said, there's always going to be residuals. Every time someone plays that game from here on out, they buy a game, there's going to be more money coming downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Very,
good for him, man. I'm a big fan of Kejuan, for obvious reasons, but he's got his own channel on YouTube, and he posts every couple of weeks. He'll post a video about what he's up to and stuff, and it's pretty cool, man. He has repped us very, very well this off season.
I seen a deal, and you may have saw it just the other day, or I think I saw it just yesterday morning, where he was asked why he didn't go to LSU, and he said, I had no reason to go. There was no reason for me to go to LSU.
Yeah.
He said, we're building something here.
I did not see that. What was the source on that?
It was, I want to say I saw it off of something on 247, I thought, but might not have been. It might have been Forever Ole Miss on off of Facebook, which it is a. That's ran by Forever Ole Miss is ran by Cofield, Jack Cofield's son, John. pretty well sourced guy.
Yeah.
If you remember, I'm going to talk to you about the Jack Cofield. He was the photographer forever. He took almost every single picture you ever seen of John Vault, and especially the ones of Archie Manning and all that back there. He was Cofield Photography out of Oxford, and pretty big name when it comes to Oxford Ole Miss. And he runs that Forever Ole Miss on the deal. But yeah, it was actually on a tweet. I mean, he linked the tweet, and I went through and looked at it. But what do you call an exposed? I don't know.
Yeah.
It ain't a tweet no more. I don't know what you call it. But yeah, it wasn't like he was reporting it. It was from a tweet or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that was pretty cool to me too. You know, I mean, the man literally said, "We're building something here. I'm part of something being built here, and I want to stay right here." You know, yeah. I got no reason to go to the LSU.
Man, I would have to think that he put an unreal amount of pressure on Trinidad.
Yeah, hit the wrong button there. Turned myself upside down.
I saw that.
I was trying to raise the camera up and I hit the invert button. Oh, you know he did.
I mean, it had to be bad, man.
It was a full court press, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's no question.
But,
you know, it's...
I'm ready for the game. I mean, I'm ready for the season to get started. But I talked to another guy the other day down in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. I was eating supper, and a guy walked up, saw my Ole Miss hat on. He said, I sure like that hat. Well, you think we're going to be able to beat them this year or no? We went right into it. I said, man, I mean, the pressure's got to be on him to win it. He's got to win that game. Just about got to win it.
Yeah.
And I said, but after that, I said, you could not pay me enough money to try to go in that. That's going to be a circus, and it ain't even. It's going to be a circus now. If they were to play the game tomorrow, it would already be a circus. But they ain't no telling what he says between now and September 19th to even ramp it up even more.
Yeah.
So right now, it ain't looking good for what we.
No, they just can't hit with this bunch.
No, they are the host team, so they got the crowd behind them. So maybe they can get it going back out.
Boy, I know you didn't see it, but last night their crowd, I have to give it to them, man. It was fantastic. It was like being in Starkville or Baton Rouge. It was. They did a great job. Their fans did. And
I heard
man,
that what's our friend over there?
Yeah, bottom of 6, they had 2 men on, no outs, and we was able to get out of the inning. And it was man, momentum was sitting right there. That place was just dying for them to come up with a big hit, and they couldn't do it. But that was a pretty cool atmosphere last night. Now today it wasn't nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So you didn't watch any today?
No, I told you, but you like the 3 outs, and I had missed all the games yesterday because of family obligations and stuff, and the day before too. So I said, I ain't jinxing it. You know, it's like wearing the same pair of socks. As long as you're still winning, you don't change them. You know, I wasn't going to change nothing.
Well, listen, we start Landon Waters, poor fella. He didn't get 10 pitches. Yeah. He didn't get 10 pitches before he got the hook.
Well, you knew Bianco was going to have to keep a short leash on anybody who run out there today.
Yeah.
That wasn't ideal for us to end that game last night. We needed to end that game last night.
No, of course not. What I was hoping we could do is, and I should have known that it wasn't going to be like this, but I was hoping we'd get 1 or 2 insurance runs on our at bat today.
And our half.
But that didn't happen. We never even threatened, you know.
We struck
4
out.
batters up. But yeah, so they had a man on first and second and no outs. and a dude stepped up and batted into a double play. And
Yep.
you could
And
just
then,
feel the deflation.
yeah. Yeah, I seen the highlights of it, and he got the double play, and then the next batter, a deflected ball that ended up the shortstop, and the guy dove and got the out, force out at second.
Yeah.
Because they actually put another batter on, which brought again.
It was so weird. That double play was, I guess it was Decker on third. Looked like he was.
Decker's second base.
Who's third base? Third base.
Judge Udemar.
Udemar. Yeah, that's right. Udemar. That's right. Udemar throwing to Furnace. But it looked like he was moving in slow motion. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like the whole scene played out in slow motion. I'm thinking, man, he got a shot at a double play. Why won't he show a little urgency? But he wanted to be so careful, because even after he tagged third base, he took his time on that throw to first, so it wouldn't get away from him. He showed a lot of discipline. I'd have been so hyped up. I'd have probably sailed that ball into the upper deck.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was nice to come out of there with not any more theatrics than that.
Let's touch on basketball. Just a little short note. It's not much report, but maybe you got a little more to add to it. It's not anything on a roster perspective, but I did see where Chris Beard added Austin Cox to his staff as the new director of operations. And I'm just not sure about the guy, but I obviously what I saw on the boards, the guy literally told over and over again, and they said it's a great hire, home run hire. So, what do you know about him, Mel? Anything?
I mean, I don't know very much about Austin Cox. I'd have much rather gotten a great player, but that's kind of neither here nor there.
I did see where Neil reported. I said I see where Neil reported something last week about two players that we were definitely in on, but there was other teams in on them as well. So he's still not over with yet on his roster.
I mean, how much influence can a director of operations have?
I'm not real sure what a director of operations is.
Well, it's a new position that's been created with all of this other BS. General manager or whatever, but I don't know. I think it's a big nothing burger. I don't see that. I mean, we're not going to suddenly win 3 more conference games just because we hired Austin Cox,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's going to help us better on the recruiting trail. I don't know. But, well, we've been kind of touching on it this whole time, talking in and out about it. Let's just move right on full-fledged into baseball here. Like I say, we've been in and out of it for a couple of times, but obviously the Rebels got to be the 2 seed at the Lincoln Nebraska Regional. Rebels won game 1 Friday night in a marathon game against the 3 seed Arizona State Sun Devils. 14-inning affair, 7-6 scoring that one. And then we got to play the number 1 seed Nebraska yesterday, and play was suspended in the ninth with the Rebels winning 6-3.
Only 2 seed in the tournament to go 2-0.
Well, and now obviously we're sitting in the best seat, but that 14 innings was almost having to play 2 games right there. It was a game and a half. So you're burning through arms to try to get through that. That didn't help us none. We didn't want to, we wanted to be able to play that in 9 and win it. And then again, what happened last night with the game, with the play being suspended, that again that ain't great for tournament ball because you're having to. You had an arm ready to go, and now you can't use that guy today. You know.
Yeah.
Just wasn't conducive. Now, you know, if we end up losing tonight at 7 p.m. and we go to the if needed game tomorrow, I would have to think there is not an arm that doesn't throw today and didn't throw late last night that wouldn't be available to throw tomorrow. And I mean including maybe Elliott for 3 outs. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If they need 3 outs and Elliott can go, I can see him coming in and try to get 3 outs. You know,
Who you think
gotta get
gets
through this
to
weekend
start?
and get the next one.
Who you think gets to start tonight, and who do you think will get to start in the if needed game?
Well, I'm pretty sure Townsend will get to start in the if needed game. It's going to be Townsend. Now, who goes next, I don't know. Let's see.
You don't think he'll start tonight?
Townsend will. You asked me who starts tonight, right? And then tomorrow night, if needed. I say Townsend starts tonight regardless. Tomorrow night,
I thought you said Townsend would start in the if
Tonight?
needed game.
No.
He'll, wait a minute. He's got to start tonight.
Oh, he'll start tonight. I'm saying
What?
in the if needed game, I don't know. Let's see. He started Waters today, right? And then brought in Calhoun. Ain't that the way it was? Calhoun come in and finish the game. So it might very well he might keep Calhoun because Calhoun just got the out.
No, he didn't. He didn't start. He didn't start Waters.
Well, he only had to. He only.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm thinking of the whole game. Yeah,
Well, yeah. I know. Just today, the ninth inning.
Yeah, just today. Yeah, you're right. Waters and then Calhoun.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So maybe even Calhoun might be able to come in, give him 2 innings tomorrow, and then he can kind of get into Owen Kelly or someone like that. I haven't really seen the pitchers we've used this week. Like I told you, I was real busy with family stuff we was doing this weekend, and just didn't get to see any of us play. And now today, I kind of intentionally didn't watch it because of we've been winning. So why jinx it? You know. So
that 14 inning game hurt us, man.
Well, and then again, you just don't understand it. You just don't understand just how bad that just suspending play in the 9th inning hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we went through basically 3 pitchers because of that. Because we lost the use of the pitcher we had ready to go in the 9th last night. Yeah. You know, and then had to use 2 pitchers to actually play the 9th today. So three pitchers we burned because of that. Unless Calhoun, you know, could possibly go out and give us a couple tomorrow.
I think he could.
If needed tomorrow.
Yeah, I think
it's different. You know.
I think he could give us at least 1 inning.
Well, it's win or go home, bud. You know that.
Yeah,
so you can't get the next weekend if you don't win this weekend. So you throw there's just not going to be many arms on the staff that's not available if we have to play the if needed game.
Yeah. Will Libbert,
Yep.
He'll be in there somewhere too.
And that's why it was so important to give him that start at in the SEC tournament. You know what I'm saying? Get him. We're going to need him. I mean, he didn't have a good outing in that game, but we needed him to get back into starting form to be able, because we can't go deep in tournament ball, you know, without his input. But again, so what I was trying to the only other real reason I'm really worried about right now and watching it all is the Auburn regional, because Auburn lost game 1 to Milwaukee. Then they just trashed NC State yesterday, and so today they have to play UCF. And they're in the rain delay right now. And then the winner of that goes up against Milwaukee again, the 4 seed, and they're 2-0. And So Auburn will have to beat Auburn or UCF. Whoever wins today would have to beat Milwaukee twice. So I like our odds there as long as we can win. We got an opportunity to host a Super.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is what scenario? So
Well,
if
we're
the
higher
fourth seeded team wins the regional over there, then we would host, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're the higher seeded team. I think it actually literally does go to bids. It goes down to it's another bidding process if the number one seed doesn't win, and can host. So I think it comes down to bidding. But obviously, us being the higher seed, and you know how Oxford does with regional and super regional play, we'll throw a big bid out there. I don't see no way we wouldn't get that host site.
No, there ain't no way. They want it to be there.
But if Auburn wins, obviously they're national seed. They're the host.
Yeah. So they've already lost one?
Yeah, they lost game one to the 4th seed, Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's the team that's sitting there 2-0 in that region.
So if they could beat Auburn tonight and we win tonight, we'll probably more than likely host
the Super.
Man.
Which would be great for Oxford, obviously. So that's why I kind of wanted to watch theirs, but it's in rain delay. So I guess in the rain and stuff that was probably over the Midwest.
Well, we ain't going to board Arizona State, let me just tell you.
Yeah, it's 5-1 right now in the top of the 5th. But
Nebraska
just got them a base hit, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, you never know. It's baseball. Like I said, that thing don't bounce right. It may be round, but it don't bounce like a round ball. But Arizona's got a hot bats, man. They just do. All up and down their lineup's hot, so you just got to pitch well.
Yeah.
But I don't got much more to add for sports or anything like that, unless you know of anything else. We can kind of move on into the old from the boards.
Did you see where I guess one of their best hitters got thrown out of the game today for Arizona State? Hairston?
No, I didn't. I just got over there a while ago. I was trying to watch that UCF Auburn game, and
apparently he pulled some BS, unsportsmanlike conduct to the point where they threw him out of the game, and he's suspended for the next game, so he won't play against us.
Yeah, that would be a plus.
Yeah,
if there is one. And I might have seen that. There was one a while ago that was raising hell about a ball strike play, and you cannot argue balls and strikes. That's
probably
automatic.
It was a called third strike, and he flipped his bat up in the air about 15 feet.
Yeah, I did see that then. Yeah, I did. But with the sound off, we were recording here. With the sound off, I didn't see the ejection.
Yeah, well, he was talking mighty ugly in addition to doing all that, so they kicked him out.
Well, it deserved to be. You can't argue balls and strikes. Now I don't know. Are they using ABS? Do you know?
I don't know.
I know we used it in the SEC tournament, but I don't know if they're using it here, because you could challenge it. Obviously, if you were using ABS, you could challenge it, tap your hat. But you can't. As far as just straight up arguing, you cannot argue balls and strikes.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but everybody is saying he was absolutely right. That's that the ump blew the call, but you still can't. You can't do that.
It might not have been the one. It might not have been the one that I saw then, because the one I saw, that it was a grooved strike. It might have been a touch high, but I don't think it wasn't close enough that you could take. And he took it and got called. You don't. When you're on strike 3, you don't let the ump make that call for you.
Yeah,
it's just not the way to do it. You want to at least go out swinging.
Well, this here says he's their best player, and he is suspended for the following game. So, flipped his bat 20 feet in the air after called strike 3.
Well, that's idiots. That's just being an idiot.
He's got to know what's at stake, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. From the boards, I hope I'm going to really do a lot of mispronunciation in this sucker right here. But Aaron Rogers kind of went out there saying that he has been using this. Ayahuasca or ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. Yeah. Ayahuasca. Yeah.
Well, it's a psychoactive brew made from plants found in the Amazon jungle. These plants, I cannot even pronounce the plants' names, but they do contain a very potent psychedelic agent known as DMT, which is another acronym for a drug that I cannot pronounce. But to me, it all sounds like back when we were kids making mushroom tea. That's what it sounds like to me.
It's probably very similar, dude. It's an ordeal to do it, to go through that. I mean, you have to go through a multi-day prep. There's your diet has to. I mean, there's just all sorts of things you have to do to prepare for this. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is because, you know, the success of the treatment or failure of the treatment depends on who you ask. Now, I had not seen the documentary on Aaron Rogers, so I don't know if he is ultimately glad that he participated in the treatment. But on the good side, I've heard that it has changed some people's lives. I've heard that addicts have never used again and no desire to use and all that stuff. But I've also heard a lot of dark stuff about it.
Well, are you going to have to explain something? They've never used again except for this? Or they used this one time and then never do anything again?
Oh, this is a one-time deal. You don't do this on a consistent basis. Yeah. No, yeah. You don't create a habit.
Well, you read that thread, right? There was one trying to find it here.
The vomiting, diarrhea.
Yeah. He's going to make you vomit and then shit your pants. But there's another one here that said that in that deal with Joe Rogan, when he was talking to him about it, he says he's been seeing these. Here it is. Rogers told Joe Rogan that ever since he tried it, that he's been having the same demonic figure routinely appearing in his dreams. I don't need that. I don't need that, bro. I don't need to see no demonic.
I can live without that, and that is a consistent story from others. You know, they've supposedly seen this demonic entity, and some people. One of the guys on the board said his brother started it and then dropped out because it felt demonic.
Yeah. Well,
pretty bizarre, man. But I got to tell you, not surprised that Aaron Rogers tried it because he is an unusual cat.
He's crazy, eh? Well, Sun Devils just added another solo home run, so
yeah, I see that.
6-1.
They just fixing to pour it on this bunch.
Hey, let them get all the hits they can, man. Maybe the bats go cold.
Tell you what, they ain't having nearly as much trouble with Nebraska pitching as we did.
No, but they're having better route against Nebraska pitching than they did against us.
Well, they got one run, man.
And what I'm saying, Arizona though only scored 6 against us too. So.
Yeah.
And Townsend's capable, man. Townsend's capable of shutting them down for innings upon innings. We need him to go back to that the first half of the season form, you know. And I ain't talking about the out of conference stuff. I'm talking about the way he looked even in the conference games early on. He's a pretty dominant guy. You just kind of
Arkansas up 10-9 on Northeastern, bottom of the ninth.
That's a little closer than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, me too. Northeastern's got the winning run on first base, but they got 2 outs. I love seeing them beat Arkansas.
Yep. Oh, the other thing here from the board segment,
just walked him, man on first and second.
Is
yeah, let's get into this other one.
Yeah, because I thought this might be pretty cool to talk about. You posted about it, and it's something I've been seeing a lot of, because I follow our stuff on TikTok, so I see a lot of people, and it's like it's stuff. It's not so much. It's like there's AI out there where they could take my picture and make it look like I'm singing this song. And I know that it possibly wasn't what you're talking about. You're probably talking about completely,
dude.
Just
I'm
AI
talking about
complete AI stuff, but
just completely just starting a song from its very genesis, and it's creating a song, man, with flawless musicianship. Sounds great, perfect quality. It sounds too good, to be honest. For a lifelong musician, and I've talked to others about it, it don't have any kind of soul to it. There's no human element to it. So I'm not saying I couldn't be fooled occasionally, but I could pretty much tell you if what I'm hearing is AI or if it's real. But as it gets better, that's not going to happen.
I guess my question would be is, do you have to know something about music to be able to do it, or will the computer do it all for you? Like me, I can't read music.
Dude,
I don't have any lyrics.
How to read music. These programs are, if you can move a mouse and tap a keystroke, you could write a song. Yeah, it's you don't have to have any skills. It's to the point where, I mean, the guys in Nashville and LA are they're terrified.
Well, I can see why. I mean, they've spent their whole lives honing their craft.
Okay, let me explain it like this. So you're a producer, and you're doing an album. You've been given a budget of $50,000 for this album. So, tracking the basic tracks for this album, let's say that costs you, I'm just going to use easy examples here. Let's say that costs you $25,000. Or, you could track it using AI for nothing. And you've got the rest of your money to use on production or who knows, marketing, whatever, because you didn't have to spend it on live musicians. It sounds just as good as those guys.
Maybe better, because there's no human element to it. You know?
You're not dealing with human beings, so there's no attitudes, there's no babysitting. They don't need to take a lunch break. You don't have to feed them.
No.
It's astonishingly frightening, man, for working musicians right now. If I was still in that world, I would be some kind of worried, and they are. It's going to have to be legislated, man. I can't believe I'm even going there, but there's going to have to be some vicious penalties laid out there to protect the music industry. Otherwise, it's over.
Yeah.
And I'm not overstating it. That's same thing with acting, man. In Hollywood, there was one post in that thread where a guy kind of got into that. I want that Davis Ken to to respond because I believe he's a songwriter in Nashville and has been for many years. And I'm very curious to hear what he has to say about it. But it's bad, man. The music industry has been pretty resilient over the years, finding a way to survive Napster and, drum machines and everything else. But this one right here, this beats it all.
Well, as much as I hate this guy, when he come on there, I do not like this guy one bit, but he darn sure, he's right. That Dralius.
Yeah.
In your thread, he said, they allow AI produced music as long as it doesn't impersonate someone else. And I guess
that's true. That's true. But did you see what I put in here? There's a band that I stumbled across, and I knew within 2 seconds something didn't sound right. Dude, this band has albums on iTunes. They have a website. They have pictures of these people that don't exist. They've got bios written up of these people. Photos, bios. And I saw the other day they had a couple of live dates posted. I'm thinking,
how they doing that?
Yeah. How are they going to do this? So I got to looking at it, and you go to, it's basically like going to a theater, and you sit down, instead of watching their movie, you watch this AI concert, all fake.
That's crazy. That's plumb crazy.
Guitars are perfect. Timing is perfect. Nobody's making a mistake. Everybody's on pitch. I'm going to be very interested to see where the next 5 years takes us.
When you first brought it up about it, I immediately thought about the Metallica and the Napster.
No, this blows that away.
This is going to be way away from that.
Yeah.
Because again, they're not impersonating, and they're not stealing anything from you. Not stealing any of your content. They're making their own.
They're not stealing your content, but they're stealing your audience.
The deal is as though, to me though, I consider myself a music purist. I am not a musician. You know that. But I love it, and I like to dive into all of it, what it means. Not so much the, like who are the band members and stuff like that. Like I can name you every member of Def Leppard. I can name you every member of Leonard Skinner. I can name you stories about. I can name you stories about how a song was wrote because I've read everything I can that was done by them. How you do that? Well, this guy was sitting in his basement one day, just typing into he used ChatGPT to write the lyrics.
One guy with a laptop.
Yeah.
One guy with a laptop.
He used ChatGPT as his lyricist, and some other AI program wrote the melody. That's not something I'm going to want to listen to. I'm not even going. I'm not going. If I know it's that, I'm not buying that record. I don't care how good the song is.
And what's going to happen? I think probably what's already happening is the example I laid out about the music producer earlier. I'm sure probably what's already happened is they've used it. They've probably been very careful with it. Like, man, we've got to get a guitar player to come in on these 3 tracks and add this, that, and the third, or who are we gonna get? Well, let's try this. Just a little sprinkle in there. Or, man, we need some orchestration on the second verse of this song. Sprinkle it in there. And so you could sit there and say, where's the harm in there? The harm in there is you're putting people out of a job. Number one. But even more important than that, you're taking the life out of the music, man. There's no the human element is part of it. Being just a hair under the perfect pitch is a part of it. But they're already coming out with these programs that it's going to be less than perfect performances. That's the way we have less than perfect to try to capture some of the humanity that's obviously missing in it now. But
they're gonna have to write bugs into the software so they can get a little humanity.
Have to dumb themselves down.
Don't make sense to me, man. But again, that's not something I'm gonna want to go to. Like last night, we was down in Bay St. Louis. They had Bay Fest going on. Listened to 3 good bands, local musicians. That's what I want to go listen to, man. That's what I like to do. I like to support them. They'll have their little tip jars out there in front of the stage. I'll walk by, throw a 5 in. And if I only listen to one song, they get $5.
Yeah.
You know, if I sit there and listen to the whole set, I'm liable to throw a 20 in there.
Yeah.
You know, that's what to me music's all about. You know.
It's the same thing, man, with movies. There is just straight up AI movies. They've got them start to finish on YouTube.
Well, I know, like the Star Wars stuff in the Star Wars universe. After Carrie Fisher died, they used some AI to regenerate her to make her, you know, when they was trying to do the young Princess Leia and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
So this whole AI stuff is getting really out of hand and very scary to me. But
yeah,
you know, it's the world we live in. So I'm almost proud that I'm 58 or 57 years old, and I ain't got to watch it much longer, man. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, that one guy had a lot of good information in that thread. NYC_TUP.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's nuts, man.
Well, we pretty much wrapped another one. Unless you got something else you want to bring up.
Go Rebels tonight.
Go Rebels tonight. Hopefully we can get this. And
what time's LSU play?
they've already played today. So. It's easier to recruit there. Remember that. And that's just different.
It's just different.
It's just different, man. They got Heisman winners. Somebody ought to
I wish this guy here, Jet Buck, would knock a 3-run homer.
He definitely needs one right now. That'd be our hopes. But anyway, yeah, folks, that kind of wraps up what we have here for episode 37. If you like what we're putting out there, please like and subscribe and share us with your friends. And as always, drop us a comment down there in the comment section and start a debate. Let us know what you think we can do better.
Also,
and myself, go ahead.
Moving forward, especially when baseball season ends this summer, we're probably going to get into a lot more not only non-Ole Miss, but non-sports in general.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of this music stuff because he's a musician and I happen to be a love music, and so there's a lot of questions I ask of him. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a lot of things. This is just going to be a conversation, as always. And he got under it. He can get it. But anyway. Jeff for the Metal Rebel and myself. Until next time, hotty toddy, Rebel fans.
Go to hell, LSU. If there's a worse place, please go there.
That's right.